The signal from the star site was a quiet night on Earth. The stars were shining, the moon was bright, and everything felt peaceful. But far above, in the cold darkness of space, something strange was happening. Leo, a young space engineer, sat alone inside the orbiting research station called Nova 7. He was just 23 years old, clever but quiet. He didn't like crowds. He liked machines, silence, and solving puzzles. He was checking satellite data when he noticed something odd. A blinking red light appeared on his screen. A signal had arrived. Weak, distant, but not random. Leo leaned closer. "This isn't noise," he whispered. "This is a pattern." He ran the signal through the translator. It was broken, full of strange sounds, but part of it repeated again and again. It sounded like a voice. He called Mission Control. "Control, this is Leo at Nova 7. I received a signal. It might be intelligent." "Copy that, Leo," the voice replied. "Sending it to analysis. Stay on alert." But Leo couldn't stop thinking about it. The tone in the signal felt urgent, not a threat, but a warning. Hours passed. Then, it happened. Deep rumble shook the station. Lights flickered. Leo grabbed onto the table as alarms blared. Outside, space shimmered. A huge shadow appeared near the moon. It wasn't an asteroid or a satellite. It was a ship, a massive alien ship shaped like a dark crescent, glowing with blue lines across its surface. Earth's defense satellites turned toward it, ready to fire. But the ship didn't attack. Instead, a soft, bright beam came down from it, toward the moon's surface. A voice echoed across all frequencies, clear now, speaking perfect English. "Humans of Earth, do not be afraid. I am Queen Zira of the Zilari. I come not to conquer, but to ask for help." The world paused. Who was she? And why would a queen from another world ask us for help? Back on Earth, governments rushed to respond. Fighter jets flew, scientists gathered, news channels exploded with theories. Aliens, invasion, peace, war. But only Leo knew the full truth. He had heard her voice hours before the others. He had seen the pattern in the signal. And deep down he felt something strange, like he was connected to this somehow. 3 days later, Queen Zira landed. Her ship stayed near the moon, but a small vessel came to Earth. It landed in the desert near an old research base. Soldiers surrounded it, but when the door opened, they didn't fire. Out stepped the alien queen, tall, graceful, her armor glowing with silver light. Her eyes were sharp, yet tired. She held no weapon, only a strange crystal in her hand. "I know your fear," she said. "My kind taught me to destroy, but I have seen another path. I broke our laws. I escaped. Now they are coming for me and for your world." A general asked, "Why us?" She looked at the sky. "Because your world is next. Because I saw one of you in a vision, a human who would change everything. I came to find him." She turned toward the cameras, her eyes locked with Leo's watching from Nova 7. In that moment, across millions of people, she spoke directly to him. "You are the one. The stars chose you." Leo stepped back from the screen. His heart raced. Me? No one believed it. Not at first. Why would an alien queen trust a human? Why not bring an army? Why break the laws of her people? But deep in space, hidden behind stars and gas clouds, another fleet was coming. Silent, powerful, full of weapons. They had one goal: capture the traitor queen and destroy the humans who sheltered her. Leo didn't ask for any of this. He was just an engineer. But now, his name was known to beings from another world. And the clock had started. The queen who broke the rules, the world was still shaking from the message. An alien queen had come, not with weapons but with a warning. People didn't know whether to believe her or fear her. In a secret base in the Arizona desert, Queen Zira of the Zilari stood in silence. She was unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Tall, strong, armored in glowing plates that shifted like liquid metal. Her eyes glowed with a soft purple light. Behind them was pain, and something deeper. Regret. Earth's leaders, scientists, and military officers sat across from her. They had 1,000 questions. She answered with only one truth. "I broke the sacred law of my empire," she said. "I turned my back on my own kind, not for power, not for revenge, but because I saw what we truly are and what we've become." They asked why she came to Earth. Her voice grew quiet. "Because they will come for you next." The Zalari Empire had ruled the stars for centuries. They were conquerors, born in fire, raised to believe in strength. Weakness was death. Mercy was a crime. Zira had once believed all of it. She had led hundreds of battles, destroyed cities across galaxies. Her name was feared in every corner of space. But then something happened. A small planet, barely defended, offered no resistance. Instead of fighting back, the people welcomed her. They gave her food, water, peace. A child gave her a flower. Zira ordered the fleet to leave the planet untouched. Her commanders refused. They called her weak, a traitor. So she made her choice. She destroyed her own ship, escaped in a stolen vessel, and ran. Not to hide, but to warn the next target. Earth. Back on the Nova 7 space station, Leo sat in silence, watching the news feeds. Zira's face was everywhere now. Debates were exploding. Some called her a hero, others called her a trap. But Leo couldn't stop thinking about the signal. He played it again and again. It had a rhythm, like music, or a heartbeat, and buried deep inside it, a second layer, a secret code, meant only for him, a message. "You saw me, you heard me. They will not listen, but you must." Leo looked around the station. No one else was awake. He opened a secure channel. "This is Leo. I want to speak to Queen Zira." The next day in the desert base, Zira sat in a quiet room. Suddenly, the screen in front of her turned on. Leo's face appeared. She smiled, just slightly. "So, the stars brought you," she said. "I don't know why me," Leo replied, nervous. "I'm not a soldier, I'm just a technician." "Good," she said. "Soldiers follow orders. I need someone who asks questions." Zira showed him something. A small crystal pulsing with light. Inside it, tiny star maps moved in circles. She called it the Memory Core, a stolen secret from the Zalari Empire. It held information about Earth's future. "Within 2 weeks," she said, "a fleet will arrive. They will pretend to come in peace. They will promise technology, energy, solutions to your problems. But behind their smiles are weapons. Once you welcome them in, they will take control." Leo asked why she cared. Her voice cracked for the first time. "Because I've done it before. I watched innocent worlds fall and I said nothing. This time I choose to speak." Far away, deep in the blackness of space, the Emperor of the Zalari watched from his throne. His face was hidden behind a metal mask. His eyes burned with cold fire. "The Queen has betrayed her blood," he said. "She has chosen insects over her own kind." A general stepped forward. "Should we begin the strike?" "No," the Emperor replied. "Send the Silver Fleet. Not to destroy. Not yet. We'll make the humans think we are friends. And when the Queen trusts them, we'll crush them all at once." On Earth, Zira stood outside under the night sky. For the first time in years, she felt wind, smelled the earth. Leo joined her. "Do you miss your world?" he asked. "No," she said. "I miss what it could have been." They stood in silence. Then Zira looked at him, serious. "They will come soon. With gifts, with peace treaties, with smiles. Your leaders will be tempted. Your people will cheer. And when it happens, you must not believe them." Leo asked, "How will I stop them?" She handed him the crystal. "By learning what they fear most, the truth." The next morning, the sky lit up with hundreds of tiny lights. The Silver Fleet had arrived. shining, beautiful, perfect. The world celebrated. But Zyra and Leo knew better. Because behind all that light, darkness was coming. Enemies among us. The sky was beautiful. Silver ships floated high above the earth like glowing stars. Smooth, silent, perfect. People looked up with wonder. Children pointed. News channels celebrated. Our alien friends have arrived. They cheered. But Zyra and Leo watched from the shadows. They knew the truth. The Zalari fleet had not come to help. They had come to prepare the cage for humanity. A week had passed since the fleet arrived. The Zalari diplomats smiled on TV. They gave small gifts, tools, energy packs, healing pods. They spoke perfect English, wore soft robes, and bowed politely. We wish for unity between our worlds, they said, but behind the smiles were soldiers. Their armor was hidden under robes. Their weapons were disguised as tools. And one by one, they began to replace people, scientists, officers, advisors. No one noticed, except Zyra. Inside the desert base, she ran her fingers across a silver console. Her armor clicked with each step. Beside her, Leo watched as a hologram map filled with red dots. These are their seeds, Zyra said. Every red dot is a Zalari infiltrator wearing the face of a human. But how? Leo asked. She showed him a device, thin like a needle, sharp as glass. With this, she said, they scan your DNA, create a skin, copy and hide inside your world. How many have they replaced? Zyra didn't answer. She just looked away. In the city of New York, a doctor named Emily Stone noticed something strange. 3 of her patients, healthy young people, had stopped responding to medication. Their heartbeats were too slow, too steady. Their blood was too clean, and they all had the same cold stare. She reported it to her hospital director. That night, her apartment door was broken open. She disappeared. No one remembered her name the next morning. Zyra stood before Earth's leaders in a secret meeting. They didn't believe her. You think aliens are replacing humans? One general laughed. This sounds like a bad movie. Zyra stepped forward, calm but fierce. I fought beside these beings for years. I trained them. I watched them erase entire species with a smile. Your world is a prize to them, not for your power but your weakness. She turned to Leo. Show them. Leo took out the memory crystal. With a flick, a recording played in the air, a Zalari commander speaking in his native tongue. The humans believe we come in peace. Let them. Soon we will activate the override beacon. Their machines will obey us. Their weapons will fail. Then the Queen will be captured and the Earth will be ours. Silence filled the room. One man clapped slowly. He stood from the back of the room, face hidden in shadow. Impressive, he said. But too late. Zyra's eyes widened. That voice. I know it. The man stepped into the light. It was Ambassador Carlson, one of Earth's own representatives and a trusted advisor. But his eyes were wrong. Cold. Silver. He's one of them, Leo shouted. Carlson smiled and changed. His skin rippled like water. His face melted and reformed. In seconds, he stood tall in full Zalari armor. Humans are always slow to see the truth, he said. You trusted the Queen. Now you've doomed yourselves. He raised a weapon. But before he could fire, Zyra moved like lightning. Her blade flashed out from her wrist, struck through the air, and sliced his weapon in half. You wear our skin, she said, but you are not. Zalari, you are a shadow of our shame. He vanished in a blink. Teleported. After the attack, chaos spread. Trust broke. Governments panicked. Some wanted to attack the Zalari ships. Others wanted peace. Some said Zyra was lying. But deep underground, Zyra and Leo built a secret team. Humans who believed the truth. Scientists, soldiers, hackers, pilots. They called themselves the Silent Dawn. Their mission: find the infiltrators, stop the override beacon, protect the planet. But time was short, because above them the Emperor watched through his ship's black mirror. The Queen has found her army, he said. Let her have it. When the signal is given, not even she will be able to save them. He pressed, his clawed hand against a glowing stone. And on Earth, in secret labs and power stations, devices began to blink, one by one, ready to turn off the planet. One night, Leo stood alone on a cliff, looking at the stars. Zira joined him. Quiet. Do you ever wonder, Leo asked, what it would have been like if you never came? Zira stared at the sky. Then I would still be a queen, she said. And your world would already be gone. He nodded slowly. So what happens now? She looked at him, eyes full of something rare. Hope. Now, she said, we fight from the shadows, because the enemy is already here, and they are wearing your face. Into the dark zone, the world was still smiling at the silver ships above. But beneath the surface, a secret war had begun. Zira and Leo, now leaders of the Silent Dawn, knew time was running out. The Zalari were planning something big, something invisible, something inside the machines of Earth. And to stop it, they needed to go where even Zira had never dared return. The Dark Zone. The Dark Zone wasn't on any human map. It was a dead part of space, hidden behind a wall of broken stars and radiation storms. Ships that entered never came back. But Zira remembered what was inside. A prison world, a vault of Zalari secrets, and something worse. She stood in the silent, Dawn's hidden hangar. Her armor glowed faintly as she stared at the star map. If the override beacon exists, she said, the code will be there. Leo looked at the map, nervous. How dangerous. Zira looked at him with a steady gaze. The kind of dangerous where not even death is your worst fear. He took a deep breath. Okay. When do we leave? The ship they took was old, small and fast, built by humans, upgraded with Zalari stealth tech. It hummed with strange energy as it flew into the black. Days passed. Space grew darker, colder. Leo couldn't see stars anymore, just swirling clouds of gas like ghosts moving in the dark. This place feels wrong, he whispered. Zira didn't speak. Her face was calm, but her hands were tight on the controls. They reached the edge of the zone. Suddenly, the ship shook, sirens screamed, the lights flickered. What's happening? Leo shouted. Gravity field, Zira replied. They don't want us going in. Hold on. The ship dived, twisted, fought through the pull. Then, silence. They had passed the barrier. What they saw next was not space. It was a graveyard. Hundreds of broken ships floated in the dark. Giant metal arms drifted without purpose. Satellite parts spun like leaves in water. Leo stared. This was a battlefield. Zira nodded. It was a rebellion, long before your time. Some Zalari wanted freedom. The Empire crushed them and left the wreckage to rot. Leo saw one ship that looked like it was still alive, its lights barely flickering. That's where we're going, Zira said. The Black Temple. It holds the minds of the old warriors, the ones who built the beacon code. They landed inside the giant ship. Dust floated like ash. The air was thick and still. Every sound echoed forever. Zira walked first, her hand on her blade. Stay close, she said. This place has eyes. They passed walls covered in glowing writing. Zalari, runes telling stories of betrayal and death. They reached the heart of the temple, a giant chamber with a glowing sphere floating in the air. The memory core, Zira said. We need it. As they stepped forward, a voice whispered through the chamber. You should not have come, traitor. Light snapped on. From the shadows, tall armored figures emerged, silver guardians, ancient Zalari war machines. You are marked, one said. Exiled. Broken. Your blood is no longer Zalari. Zira raised her weapon. My blood may be broken, she said. But my soul is free. She charged. The battle was fast, brutal. Zira moved like fire. Leo tried to help, hacking into the systems, confusing the Guardians, turning lights on and off. Finally, Zyra struck the last Guardian down, but she was wounded, her side burned, her breathing hard. Leo ran to her. "You're hurt. Just a scratch." She lied, coughing. He helped her to the core. She touched the sphere. It glowed brighter. A flood of images filled the air. Maps, codes, star routes, hidden signals. And then, one final image. A blueprint. The override beacon, built inside a satellite already in orbit around Earth. Leo whispered, "It's already here." Zyra's eyes widened. "Then we are almost out of time." But something else happened. The core showed one more image, a human face. Leo. Younger. Unconscious. Inside auxiliary lab. "What is this?" he asked. Zyra stared in shock. I don't know. I didn't see this before." Suddenly the chamber shook. "They know we're here," she shouted. Sirens screamed. Doors slammed shut. The ship was waking up. Traps activated. Drones rose from the ground. Leo grabbed the core. Zyra slashed through the drones as they ran back to their ship. The engines roared. The ship blasted out of the dark zone just in time. Behind them, the ancient temple exploded. But the memory was saved. And a question was born: who was Leo really? Back on Earth, the Emperor watched the stars ripple. "They found the core," he said, calm. A general asked, "Should we stop them?" The Emperor smiled. "No. Let them learn the truth. Sometimes the truth is more dangerous than lies." Inside the silent Dawn base, Zyra sat alone watching the image of Leo in the lab. She had seen many strange things in her life. But this changed everything. "Leo," she whispered, "what did they do to you?" The battle of two worlds. The sky was no longer calm. Above Earth, the Silver Fleet no longer smiled. Their ships had shifted, sleek beauty replaced by sharp metal and glowing red cores. Peace had always been a mask. Now, the teeth behind the mask were showing, and the countdown had begun. Inside the silent Dawn base, Zyra stood over the glowing memory core. Its light flickered as it showed the hidden code, the signal that would activate the override beacon in orbit. With one pulse, that beacon would shut down satellites, crash defense systems, and hand control of Earth's machines to the Zilari. "How long do we have?" Leo asked. Zyra turned slowly. "Less than 72 hours. Once activated, there will be no turning it off." Leo looked out the window. People still walked the streets, went to work, drank coffee, laughed with their children. They had no idea. At a secret meeting of world leaders, panic had started. Half the council wanted to trust Zyra and Leo. The other half still believed the Zilari offered peace. A general slammed his hand on the table. "We can't start a war based on a few files from an alien fugitive." Leo stood, voice calm but firm. "You think it's war you're starting?" "No. The war already began. You're just late to see it." A scientist brought in new evidence. Security cameras showed humans behaving strangely, moving in patterns, speaking without emotion, staring blankly for hours. They were the replaced. The infiltrators had multiplied. Some leaders finally understood. Others remained silent because they too were no longer human. As global fear spread, Zyra began preparing the silent dawn for battle. She trained soldiers in alien tactics. She showed them how to fight armor with speed, how to move like shadows, how to sense the patterns in Zilari communication. She also changed. The warrior queen, who once gave orders, now moved among her soldiers, ate with them, bled with them. They didn't call her queen. They called her captain, and she accepted it, because titles meant nothing in war. Only choices did. But Leo had a choice of his own. He had not told Zyra what the core had revealed. The image of himself, unconscious in a Zilari lab years ago. He had no memory of it. And now, he began to dream. He saw metal walls, voices in another language, needles, and a phrase that returned again and again: Project Symbio X, Phase 1, Human Fusion. Was he part Exilari? Was he a weapon? He looked in the mirror, trying to see something alien in his reflection. But all he saw was fear. Not fear of what he was. Fear of what he might become. 2 days before the beacon activation, the Emperor sent a message. Not to Earth. To Leo, it came through his neural chip in a voice only he could hear. You are not theirs, child. You are ours. Return to us, and we will show you what you truly are. Leo collapsed. Zyra rushed to him. What happened? He told her everything, the memory, the voice, the project. Zyra stood in silence, shock, written across her face. They made you, she whispered. You were not just chosen, you were designed. Then what am I? Leo asked. She didn't answer, because she didn't know. The day of the beacon came. Silent Dawn launched a fleet, human ships mixed with stolen Xilari tech. Their mission: destroy the beacon before it activates. But the Xilari were ready. Their fleet turned, weapons hot. A battle began in orbit. Lasers cut across the black sky. Ships exploded in flashes of light and fire. Humans fought bravely, but they were outnumbered, outmatched. Then came the worst moment. A Xilari warship, large as a city, descended toward Earth, its guns aimed at major cities. If it reached the surface, millions would die. Zyra gave the order. Target the warship, full assault. But the ship's shields were too strong. Nothing got through. Then, Leo made a decision. Get me close to it, he said. I think I can stop it. You'll be killed, Zyra said. He looked at her. Maybe. Or maybe I was built for this. He took a fighter and flew straight into the heart of the battle. Dodging, blasts, weaving through fire. He reached the warship's surface and landed. Inside, alarms screamed. Xilari troops rushed to intercept. Leo ran toward the core. The ship felt familiar, like he had walked its halls before. He reached the power center and placed his hand on the alien console. For a moment. Nothing. Then, everything stopped. The lights faded, the weapons powered down, the ship obeyed him. Leo collapsed. Zyra watched from her command ship. The warship shut down and began falling from orbit, slowly, safely, like a wounded beast going to sleep. Leo's signal was gone, she whispered. He did it. A soldier asked, Is he dead? Zyra shook her head. No, not dead, but changed. Far away in the Emperor's chamber, a shadow moved across the floor. The Emperor stared into a burning map of Earth. We were wrong about him, he said. He is not a failure. He is the beginning. The trial of the traitor queen. The battle was won. The war was not. The Xilari warship lay in ruins beneath the ocean. Silent Dawn had saved millions. For a moment the world breathed again, but not for long. As the sky cleared, a shadow moved. And in that shadow, Queen Zyra was taken. They came like ghosts. A black Xilari stealth ship, cloaked in bending light, slipped past Earth's orbit while the humans celebrated. 5 elite hunters moved inside the Silent Dawn base. Fast, silent, merciless. Zyra fought like a storm, but even she couldn't defeat them all. Leo was still unconscious, still recovering from what he had done aboard the warship. He couldn't stop them, and so Zyra vanished. No trace, no signal, no goodbye. When Leo awoke, the world felt wrong. He stumbled from the medbay, searching the base. No one met his eyes, until a soldier finally spoke. She's gone, Leo. They took her. Leo froze. What do you mean, took her? Back to their empire, back to stand trial, as a traitor to her blood. Leo's fists tightened. He had never felt anger like this, not even fear, just fire. Not because Zyra was gone, but because no one was doing anything to bring her back. They all thought she was lost. He didn't. He couldn't. In the far reaches of space, Zyra stood before her old people once again. Not as queen, not as soldier, but as a prisoner. She was chained to a floating disc in the center of a massive chamber. Around her sat the Council of Blood, ancient leaders of the Zilari Empire. Their faces were hidden behind masks of metal and bone. The Emperor stood at the center, silent. "You were born in fire," one council member said. "Raised to conquer. You led our wars. Now you defend the weak? What are you, Zira?" She didn't flinch. "I am free." The chamber hissed in shock. "You are nothing," another voice spat. "A traitor. A queen who bowed to insects." "Then let the insects speak," Zira said, "and see who bows in the end." But the council had already decided. There would be no fair trial, only a sentence, execution. Back on Earth, Leo stood before the silent dawn war room. "I'm going." "After her," he said. No one spoke. One commander shook his head. "Leo, it's a suicide mission." "She came here to save us," Leo said. "Now we leave her to die?" "No. If none of you will come, I'll go alone." But he wouldn't go alone. A pilot stood up. "I'm in, then a hacker. I've got the nav routes, then a squad of soldiers." Soon, Silent Dawn was alive again. This time, not to defend, but to rescue. Leo's ship was fast, invisible, and angry. It tore through space with a purpose. He carried the memory core upgraded with a hidden code, something Zira had once said only a Xalari royal could unlock. He was about to test if that meant her, or him. In the chamber, Zira was brought to the edge of the void. Behind her the star spike, a weapon of judgment. One blast would scatter her atoms into space. "Final words?" the Emperor asked. She stared straight ahead. "I regret only one thing," she said, "that I won't see how badly you lose." But before the Emperor could signal the end, the room shook. Sirens blared, lights dimmed, and a voice filled the air. "Zira, step back." Everyone turned. Floating above them was a stolen Xelari ship, and inside it, Leo. His image was projected through the core. "You're not killing her today," he said. Guards rushed forward, weapons powered up. Leo's hands moved quickly across the controls. He had only one shot. He activated the core. The entire chamber went silent. Then, a second voice spoke. Ancient, royal, older than the council itself. Blood code accepted, air identified. Every mask turned. To face Leo's image, the Emperor took a step back. "No, it's not possible." The memory core had unlocked a forgotten truth. Leo was part Xalari, but not just any part. He carried the blood of the Emperor's own line, created in secret long ago, in a lab buried by shame. A hybrid, a weapon, and now, a rightful heir. "Blood law," Leo said, his voice steady. "I demand a royal duel. Me, against you." The Emperor's eyes glowed with fury. "You are nothing, a half-born," Leo smiled. "Then you shouldn't be afraid to fight me." On the ship, Zira broke her chains during the chaos. She ran through the crumbling temple, guards chasing her. Leo landed the ship outside. She jumped aboard just in time. They soared into space, but behind them, the Emperor roared, "Prepare the fleet." The final war had begun. Inside the ship, Zira collapsed beside Leo. "You're alive," she whispered. "So are you," he said. "But we're not done yet." She looked into his eyes. The same eyes she once saw in a vision, long before Earth. "You were never just a human," she said. He shook his head. "No, but maybe I'm something new." She smiled. "Then let's show them what new looks like." Bowed but not broken, the stars had gone silent. Above the Earth, in the black sea of space, two massive fleets faced each other. One was old, proud, and merciless, the Zilari Empire. The other was smaller, newer, human, and ready to die free. Inside the Silent Dawn command ship, Leo stood beside Zira. Their armor reflected the glow of war. Below them, millions of lives waited, some in hope, some in fear. And somewhere in the center of it all, the Emperor waited. He had accepted the duel. One final battle. Bloodline against bloodline. Leo prepared. In silence, he had trained in human tactics, learned Zalari code, studied alien warcraft, but none of that mattered now. This battle would not be fought with strategy. This would be fought with truth. "You don't have to do this alone," Zira said. Leo turned to her. "I was made for this." She stepped closer, voice low. "No. You were made by them. But you chose us. That's what makes you stronger than him." He smiled. "Thank you for seeing me." The battle began. The fleets clashed across the stars. Lasers, plasma, sonic blasts. Human ships darted between giants, striking like lightning. Zalari vessels moved in deadly formation. Silent Dawn soldiers fought side by side with rebel Zalari, those inspired by Zira's defiance. But the true war would be decided in one place, the arena of fire, aboard the Emperor's flagship. Leo stepped onto the platform. Across from him stood the Emperor, taller, armored in black obsidian, eyes like frozen suns. The crowd of Zalari nobles watched from above. "You carry my blood," the Emperor said. "But you are no son of mine." Leo raised, his weapon. "You're right, I'm better." The duel began. It was not clean. It was brutal. The Emperor fought like a monster. Every strike could kill. His blade pulsed with energy. His movements were perfect. Leo dodged, blocked, countered, but he was slower. He fell once, twice. On the third fall, the Emperor pressed a foot against his chest. "Look at you," he spat. "Weak, emotional, human." Leo gasped, blood in his mouth. "Maybe. But I'd rather be human than be you." And then he grabbed the Emperor's leg and pulled, rolling to the side. He struck upward. Blade met armor. A crack. The Emperor staggered. Leo stood, and something changed. His eyes glowed, not like the Emperor's, but with a different light. Blue. Pure. The hybrid spark inside him ignited fully, not controlled by code, not designed for war, powered by choice, powered by something the Empire had never understood. Hope. Leo raised his blade again. And this time, he didn't fall. He moved like lightning. Every strike had purpose. Every step was his own. And when the Emperor raised his blade for the final blow, Leo was already behind him. He spoke just 3 words. "This ends now." And he drove the blade through the Emperor's core. The silence was deafening. The Emperor collapsed, armor shattering. His last words were barely a whisper. "How? Did you win?" Leo leaned close. "Because I fought for someone else." The arena. Doors opened. Sarah entered with rebel forces. She looked at the broken Emperor, and then at Leo. The nobles rose. Some fled. Others knelt. Not to Leo as a king, but to him as a liberator. On Earth, the silver ships turned. Some fled. Others surrendered. The override beacon, now fully deactivated, began to burn in the upper atmosphere, melting harmlessly above the clouds. The invasion was over, and Earth had won. A week later, Zyra stood at the edge of a cliff watching the sunrise. Earth's sky was new to her, bright, full of colors her world never had. Leo walked beside her. His body still carried scars. His mind carried more. But he was no longer afraid of what he was, because now he knew who he was. "They want you to lead," Zyra said. "To be their new emperor." Leo laughed. "No thanks. I think I've had enough of being someone's project," she smiled. "Then what will you be?" He looked at the sky. "Just Leo. Just someone trying to do better." She turned to him. And for the first time the warrior queen bowed. Not in surrender, but in respect. "Then I will follow you." He shook his head. We walked together. The camera zooms out. Earth is safe. For now. But deep in space, beyond known. Stars. Something stirs. Not Zilari. Something older. Something watching. And in the blackness, a whisper echoes. The hybrid has awakened. The old order has fallen. Now, it begins. End of story.